Hello and welcome to What Makes Difference. And today we are delighted to have Samuel T Reddy. And Samuel is probably the leading voice of the Commonwealth soldier.
Thank you, Rich and Ali. Great to see both of you. And thank you for having me on your podcast today. And it's great to be with you.
Yeah. Can you give us an introduction about a bit about background and what you're doing to help Commonwealth soldiers with transitioning from the forces?
Yeah, so I served as a Royal Fusilier, and then moved to become an Army mover in the RSC, and I left the military as an Army linguist. Today, I help fellow Commonwealth and Gurkhas to really reinvent themselves and their careers. And I've written 3 books on career transition. One is a bestseller. And also have a program that's accredited for them. It's a first career strategy diploma, postgraduate diploma in the UK, to really accelerate their career transition in 12 months.
As we were talking, you were talking about previously about belonging.
Yes.
And finding a sense of belonging after service as well as during.
True, and you know we both know you come from Scotland, I come from Mauritius. And I think belonging goes very deep into why do we do what we do, right? It doesn't matter where we come from. Anyone who's joining the military wants to be part of it, and you want to be part of the organization. You want to be known, to be accepted as a member of the group. And I think the military does a good job with that. You know, there's no doubt that there is enough things going on to help individuals, regardless of the background they come from, to belong. I think the challenge is for a Commonwealth is life after the military.
Yeah,
because you see, me and Rich here could have been serving together, and we will be like, hey, you know, we know each other, but the other people around in the UK do not know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
That's a challenge.
Yeah.
It's a big challenge because we talk about identity. You guys talk about identity, and I will tell you exactly that because that's what you guys do, identity, belonging, and I can't remember the third thing you guys talk about. But identity is very important. You know, we all wear the green uniform, and at some point in life, we take it off. And at that point, everybody, it doesn't matter. I have worked with 4-star generals to private. It doesn't matter what rank you are. You will have this loss of identity. Now, for a Commonwealth, it's actually a little bit more complicated because imagine you have served 22 or 24 years these days, and you take that uniform off. At that point in your life, you got a major issue of identity because, first of all, you got to go and find out the right to live in the UK. There's no guarantee that after serving 5, 10, 50, 22 years, or 24 years, that you are actually a British citizen or naturalized. There's no guarantee for that. So you find yourself, yeah.
There's also, Samuel, is when that soldier is signed up, this is in the very formative stages of development, isn't it? So 18 years old, roughly, maybe gone to Harrogate if they can. It's very, very much about how do they develop, and they get ingrained into that, institutionalized really into the system. And through that formative years, it's difficult then or it can be for some people, to form that new identity, life after service.
Of course.
Especially for someone who possibly comes from the Commonwealth as well, because they've left their home country, they've lived over in the United Kingdom maybe for quite a while, and it's, who am I now? So they may not feel like they belong in the country of origin, and they may not feel they belong in Britain because they're told, you've got to pay this fee to become a British citizen, as it were.
Well, I suppose it's a bit like that age-old question, isn't it, of where is home? And that's part of that belonging, isn't it? Because sometimes that belonging is about the context and the surroundings and your anchor points round about you. The thing about the armed forces is it's a set of anchor points that moves wherever you move. But now you don't have that. So actually, what do you anchor to so that you have that sense of belonging?
Yeah, so the folks that will come out, not only do you, I call it the rite of passage in my book, you got to pay the right to be coming over here, right? It's not free. So you pay the right of passage to come to the UK, you served, and then you have to pay the right to live in this country. And I think that there's when I look at history, the first Commonwealth to come and live in the UK was in 1944. So in 1944, 6,000 Caribbean, 3.5 of them came from Jamaica. They came to answer the call from the then Prime Minister, Winston Churchill, to join the RAF. They were the same generation who actually later in life, you probably came across the Windrush generation. Mm-hmm. And some were deported, some were taken away. They were Commonwealth veterans. You will read about them in my next book, right? How they were treated, and their experience hasn't changed today. I have got people today who served 15 years in this country, but went back home because they did not know or didn't have the money to actually even pay for naturalizations. Yeah. So I'm looking at this in a long perspective. We just had D-Day 80 last week, mm-hmm. right? 80 years, for 80 years, we actually haven't changed a lot when it comes to the Commonwealth. Mm. So, and I think it's a bad time that we wake up as a country to realize that what are we doing to change that? What have we done? What can we do? And I think it's not just about, if I can solve that problem, then I can solve that problem myself. It is a multi-established, multi-agency approach that will change those situations.
Yeah, one of the things that we talk about, Samuel, is moral injury. And there will be, they've served their time in the country, maybe brought family over, brought family up. There's then going to be like a sense of betrayal, a sense of sanctuary trauma associated with a government body going, well, we no longer want you. Cheerio, goodbye, off you go.
Yeah, and there are cases like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
hugely damaging to that person psychologically.
True. Last week I was talking with NHS England, and the question I had for them is what are you going to do if someone served this country for 50? My thing is very simple. If you came to the UK and you wore a British uniform, I don't care where you come from. You belong to this country. Mm-hmm. So my call to NHS England, and perhaps I'll be talking now NHS Scotland as well, to find out how do we actually support those guys who didn't have any support. They didn't know how to go through the formalities of gaining their visa, their status, or naturalization. They left with their family to go back home. They went to war same as us, any one of us. They went to Tele Carrick. How do we support them? Surely they belong as well.
Yeah. So you could look at the old Roman Legion model, couldn't you? Mm. And after 24 years of service, Roman Legion, he'd be then become a citizen if he survived all that, and he'd be given a farm.
Oh wow, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think what we are certainly looking at how do we improve the experience, and I think improving the experience of Commonwealth in this country it will take many organizations to do that. It's going to require, but I believe the strongest supporters are going to be individuals like yourself. I don't have much faith in systems. I have faith in people. So I think people will change the system. I think people that have served with us break bread, right, with us. They are the people who are like, hold on a minute, I serve with these guys. There was no difference where we came from. It didn't matter when we were out there. Why are we so to be declassified today or labeled as a non-UK veteran? I am now a non-UK veteran by definition, and there are people serving that are called non-UK personnel. I was at that meeting with them, sitting down in the same room with them. I tell you what, I felt sick. I felt like I was an illegal immigrant in that room. by that definition of
Yeah.
words. You know?
But then they were willing to take your body, they were willing to take you to sign that line, pay you a salary for that period of time, and essentially risk your life and limb.
So the thing is, the surprising things about that is, I think what I've come across, tend to realize, people like you and I who serve will never use that term. It is the people, the civilian, who have no idea. You know, your people that just sat behind a desk.
Yeah,
that came up with that definition. Yeah, they just have no idea.
No.
So this is a call, perhaps, to all my fellow brothers and sisters who bred with us. You guys got to support this. You know, we can. This non-UK is much more complex than that. In my next book, Of Belonging, when did Britain stop seeing us the Brown Brothers? My mission is to showcase how did this thing happen? how far are we going here? I've got to follow 80 years from now to try to find this problem. And some people came to me from different groups to tell me, wow, maybe we never belonged in the first place. Maybe we actually would never belong. That's why it was so easy to relabel us as non-UK personnel or non-UK veterans. Because you think about, for 80 years, we paid to live in this country.
Yeah.
I can show you my visa I paid my nationalization in 2007 to become a citizen.
Yeah.
So for both me and my wife. So this is the I would probably say the arguments here that we have to address this, and the government, the people who sat behind desk holding pens, they need to understand that actually on the ground is a different story. You know, I have served with many people that doesn't matter to me where they come from. You know, when I meet them, it's as if we always been together.
Yeah, the only thing that matters on the ground is, can you do that job? Are you a good soldier? That's all people care about.
Well, the other challenge there is the aftercare. And there are big enough challenges with veteran services already within the UK, accessing the specialist help that's needed for the after effects of a life in military service. You know, whether that's musculoskeletal issues, whether that's mental health and well-being. You know, there's a whole associated, you could say, industrial outcomes in terms of industrial injuries that go with that, if you were to use employment terms. Because it has been employment, but it's also been life. But if you are a non-UK or you're a Commonwealth serving member of the military, then what does that mean in terms of the aftercare as well? For anything that has impacted you during service? Because where do you go for that specialist aftercare? How do you access it when you need it most? That understands your experience, your service, and the impact of that, and that gives you the appropriate aftercare to help you achieve the life post-service that you deserve and want.
Yeah, do you know, it's almost like what Rich was saying earlier. It's like, if you're born in Scotland and you come and live in England, you serve in England, and then you live in England afterwards, you still have to make that transition, and because your parents, your uncles, not in England. You know, you don't have family roots in England. So it's the same for the Commonwealth. You spoke about trauma earlier, Ali, and I think one of the biggest trauma for a Commonwealth is this application for settlement. Oh my God, I'm telling you, it is a big trauma. You have to, you leave at the time when I was leaving, I left, right, 07. It was 28 days. You literally have 28 days to get your documents to the Home Office for them to approve or reject your stay. Forget CV here. CV has there's no importance here. You know, forget a house. You just don't know whether you're going to be able to live in this country. Now they've extended to 3 months. Okay, so 3 months before you leave the military, you can go and apply for your citizenship. And I'm like, I've got a couple of guys right now, joined the same time as me, done 23 years, 24 years, and now they got to go and find £1,800 to get naturalized. And I'm like, hold on a minute, you guys served for 24 years, paid taxes, national insurance, and yet we're asking you for another £1,800 to get naturalized. Even if it was £1, I just find that terrible.
Well, it is insulting, but we also won't let you do that until 3 months before you're no longer a member of the armed forces. So as I was listening to you, Samuel, I was reflecting the fact that the best advice you can give somebody is you start planning for your transition to civilian street the minute you join the military. And you ideally will at least do that 3 years prior to the final exit date, because of the sheer scope of decisions that you've got to make. Yet you look at the Commonwealth and non-UK members of the military forces, and 3 months prior to exit, they don't even know if they're going to be allowed to stay in the UK. So how can they plan for employment, for housing, for all of the basics, never mind deal with anything else, if they actually don't know if where they're going to be living, where they're going to be resident in 3 months' time?
Well, I have turned this into a different angle, actually an opportunity. You think about the world I came in 23, 24 years ago, and the world we're living in today. We are now living in a global market, right? 23 years ago, we will not be able to do that, you and I. And today, if you're coming from a developing countries, I'm telling you, the world is booming and shifting. And unfortunately, the UK is now a single market, right? Although we've got England, Wales, and Scotland together, we're still an island. We're still a single country now. And for a Commonwealth who comes to the UK, this is where the beauty starts. The beauty is now, with the world moving and growing fast, those countries like Ghana, Kenya, India, Caribbean are all growing as well. Mm-hmm. So with their knowledge and expertise in leadership, in living in the armed forces, serving the armed forces, it's now a great time for them to use that and go and impact their home nation. And this is where the dual nationality comes in. So that nothing stopped them to live in the UK. Or, however, I always say to some people, you know what, you got a gap here. You got a gap of knowledge and skill expertise. Imagine someone who served in the Royal Engineers, the expertise they have, even those who serve in signals, like Rich, in terms of telecommunication, we are already in 5G. Some places are still in 3G. So the knowledge, skill, and expertise they can take from this country and go out there and improve their home country is just amazing.
Absolutely.
That's what we do.
It's only recently that there's a big drive for employers in this country to go out and they have been actively recruiting military personnel, but it's more so in these recent years. You can see that emphasis on the unrecognised tap potential that's out there within the armed forces and that military community. Yeah. And as you said, Samuel, if these men and women who have served go back to a Commonwealth country, there's huge potential for those countries to expand and grow. And they've got so there's all those links of, we served with that guy over there, we can work with them over there in whatever country, whatever facility.
Exactly. So I always remind a lot of the key leaders in this country that you seem to forget that you have got, if let's say for argument's sake, we've got 1,000 Commonwealth coming and serving this country every year. These are 1,000 ambassadors to the UK.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
There's nothing, like I come from Mauritius, and I say to people, God, I got a place in Mauritius. I got the keys here. If you want to go tomorrow, just let me know and take the keys and go. And this is there are 56 countries like that. And I'm like, if people really start thinking that way, they could travel anywhere they want. There'll be a friend over there waiting for you. At least someone will give you advice. If you want to go to the next holiday destination, hey, well, how do I go? What can I do? So there's this golden link. I call it the golden link between the UK and Commonwealth. all the people we serve.
Definitely.
Because we are ready to go all the way in. And we've proven ourselves for what we do. And I think this is what I want to bring in, reminding everybody for 80 years, actually more than 80 years, I'm just stopping 80 years, that we have come to serve. We're here. And there's a link now. Let's use that link to really prosper the home nation and the birth nation together.
Yeah. As I said, we're stronger together.
Exact. Yeah. And you will find out our belonging, the motive for belonging is stronger together.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is about freedom of choice, isn't it? It's about making sure that you have that choice, and that this is something that isn't such a lottery. That there is a bit more surety, because that surety is what assists in making those choices and those decisions and planning. Because 3 months is not enough.
No, I know. 3 months is not enough. 3 years is not enough. I always people always think you go here, you're going to go and do something amazing in the future. You got the skill. I have no doubt that you have got the skill and knowledge and expertise. What you do need to know is how to apply those in the marketplace today. And I think we got to understand that the marketplace always pays you according to your value. People say to me, "Oh, I'm paid £12.50 an hour. I'm on minimum wage." Okay, how much your boss is getting paid? Oh, my boss is on X amount of money. Well, surely then he's bringing more value than you. So we are all always paid according to the value that we bring to the marketplace. So if you don't earn more money, bring more value. And it is as simple as that. And I think a lot of people don't realize what is the value that they have, they can contribute to the marketplace. And I think for the Commonwealth, because this is a challenge, because sometimes we underestimate ourselves. Actually, everybody, it doesn't matter where you come from. Mm-hmm. We forget that what we have, what has been done, what can be done, basically. And I think it's a major reminder. If I can just, end with this, is anybody, doesn't matter where you come from, if you have served UK Armed Forces, by default, day one, in my basic training, they were making me to start giving orders to people at day one, right? We all remember that, and we all hated this guy at the time. But that's what they do. The army has no option than to train people as leaders. An Apache helicopter takes 5 years to get trained, okay? You can lose the helicopter. You cannot train a guy overnight to fly the helicopter. It takes 5 years.
So if you could have one change by tomorrow, what would you want that change to be, Samuel? What would be the key change that makes the difference for this population, for this part of our military?
So I think we just need to remember, I think that the people who come to serve, they came to belong, first of all. When they join the military, they are part of a family, and it is a big family. Right? Unfortunately, you've got to remember that when you take that skin off, the green skin, the uniform off, you will not be part of family. You got to understand that it's a lot more difficult when you come out, come out behind the wire. But to understand your values, to understand your expertise, what do you bring to the marketplace, and also to understand the diversity in perspective. I'm very glad to, whenever I go anywhere, I let people know I was not born in the UK. I was born in a different country, and then hence why I can bring you different perspective of life and everything, So, and I think that diversity in perspective is very, very important in today's world. I look at the world today, there's still a lot of problem going on. And how are we going to change that? Why would I come all the way from Mauritius to here just to happily just retire? The army gave me the skill and knowledge. Now it's time for me to think about what can I do to make the world a better place? Surely, if I don't do it, then I'm putting on to my daughters. I'm putting a lot more stress on them.
Yeah.
When I should be taking the stress.
It's the old adage of, if not me, then who?
Exactly, Rich. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your time, Samuel. We know you're a very busy man.
Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure talking to both of you.
We look forward to hearing about your future escapades and what you're up to.
Yeah, of course. Well, I'll definitely invite you for the book launch. It's going to be down south. Well, for you, Rich, easy. Ali, you might have to take a plane, and I will come down to Southampton.
Well, the thing is, At least I don't get nosebleeds when I cross the border.
Oh,
Unlike Rich.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. And enjoy.
Take care.
Thank you.
Take care, Samuel. Thank you.
All right.